I am Ra. I greet you in the love and the light of the One Infinite Creator. For Creator is in all, only divided by the separation of time-space. However, before we begin, we would like to tell you that you should only accept the information that resonates with your inner being and leave the rest behind. Today, this instrument desires to know about the situations that an entity will encounter after a certain act of self-destruction. Nevertheless, before we tell you anything regarding this topic, remember you are a divine mind-body-spirit complex of light. You have within yourself all the resources that you need in order to not just survive but thrive. Many a times you forget about this connection and let other mind-body-spirit complex circumstances and things control your life and how you feel. In addition, this creates blocks of energy that disconnects you from the Creator within, from the divine consciousness, from your higher self. This keeps you blocked in lower vibrations, in thoughts of fear, doubt, resentment, regret, revenge. Instead, when you realize this happening, just focus on what has worked in your life. Be grateful for all that has worked for you. Choose love, faith, belief, and forgiveness instead and raise your vibration. Many of your kind make the mistake of living their past memories repeatedly in their mind, reliving it using their imagination that brings all the negative emotions or sometimes that happy emotions of the recycled past memories. When you live from recycled past memories, you simply keep reliving the same scenario repeatedly in different situations, and your present reality will begin to reflect the same kind of scenario. Because what you focus on becomes amplified. That is why it is very important to focus on what you want in your life to multiply. If you focus on the good things, you will see the good things emerge more and more. If you focus on happiness, you will see more happiness in the planet. So instead of letting the past life scenarios ruin your life, you simply live what we call the easy way or the easy path. And if it is simply by taking responsibility for your energy, for your actions, and for your reactions, these are the things that are in your control. Take responsibility for the things you can control and leave the rest. Secondly, let us tell you that all beings that are born will have to face death, that is, a transition phase before its next incarnation. If the death had been natural, the entity would harmoniously enter into the astral plane wherein the higher self will decide its next incarnations and the next lifetimes an entity will have to undergo. However, if the death is by self-destruction, it will cause the entity to undergo a large amount of healing work in order to get its balance and bearing. It will also mean that the entity did not properly finish its learning process during its incarnation, which would mean that it would have to learn the lessons all over again. The entities, after crossing over, go to the spirit world and they are met with inner peace, calmness, and joy that will heal them. They go there and they are greeted by their loved ones in spirit, more specifically the higher selves of the loved ones. After a certain point, they will undergo a life review process and they are going to realize that it was a critical error and they regret doing it. Sometimes, immediately after death, the entities who had done such act of self-decimation want to re-enter their physical vehicle. Many a times they are successful and you hear many vibratory sound complexes about them on your planet. Those who survive such attempts. Other times, the entities are not able to re-enter their body complexes because once they pass through a certain gateway of light, no entity can go back to its body complex. They regret what they missed and they wished they would have continued their learning. This type of death, however, not recommended, will lead to a loss of time in your terms. Otherwise, it is much similar to the other deaths. The entities that commit this act feel a sense of guilt and a sense of shame. They also feel bad for the other soul groups, soul masters, and oversouls who helped them to progress in their life. This type of death generates a lot of so-called karma by this instrument against the entity who took its own life due to creating a sense of grief and loss for the loved ones who lost a loved one. This emotional karma will have to be balanced later on in the next lifetime of the entity who takes its own life. Every experience you have on earth, whether good or bad, are just for your souls to grow and expand. Remember that no one in the spirit world is judging you. Your own higher self is the judge, which in essence means that you are yourself the judge of your life. You are multi-dimensional beings. However, all the good deeds and the good acts performed by the entity will still be valid. These good actions don't get erased during the act of commission of just one act of killing the self. If the entity has performed more good deeds in its lifetime, then it will incarnate into the next positive cycle of incarnation. However, it will still have to undergo its lessons in a different form. Also, one thing you must understand is that no mind-body-spirit complex commits such acts on its own. Many a times it has already been planned, and before these entities incarnated on earth, there was a potential for them to take their own life. The soul guides and the higher self had planned for the potential of the entity to take its own life. Perhaps it is for gaining new experience and learn from. However, each entity can still choose otherwise and not kill their own life. The higher self puts it in the potential for that entity to kill itself. Maybe, perhaps it wanted to learn it for balancing karma. The purpose of your life is to have different facets of every possibility of experiences, grow, and then evolve into the next higher level of consciousness. All the entities who grieve a loss due to such acts must know that it was for allowing them to experience it in their lifetime. Perhaps they wanted to experience it in this lifetime to feel how it felt to lose a known mind-body-spirit complex via such acts. Free will overrides all, and you must know that all entities have free will. There are benefits to the entity if they do not choose to kill itself. From our point of view, the benefits include faster evolution of the entity and not creating any emotional karma collection. The entity that killed itself will have to undergo another lifetime of relearning again in similar circumstances that it killed itself in. Sometimes the situations may be even worse the next time. One difference during the crossing over of the entity is that entities that commit such acts are sent to a different section of the astral plane that is meant for such entities that have undergone a traumatic death to heal. These entities spend their life in a chamber of white light for an extended period of time after the transition phase. The white light is meant to heal the entities. Some entities even spend as long as 50 years immersed in this white light. Many entities who commit such acts have the wrong belief that they do not have to undergo the same type of life again. However, this is not true, as the entity again has to undergo the same lessons all over again, and with a bit more intensity in its next incarnation. These times that are upon earth are quite the extraordinary one. It is a transformation. There is an incredible amount of growth available. You all have been presented with an opportunity to take the jump into a higher level of consciousness. Each of you may be in your own way experiencing a new way into growth, an opening of the heart. There is more love and light flowing into your life, and an unknowing attraction to the truth of who you are. This is happening due to an increase in the energy in the planetary consciousness of Earth. This is a growth towards a certain completion in your life. And now is the time, through a special dispensation of the Creator of the universe and all universes that is within each of you. We are calling upon all the entities on earth at present to learn and to learn other entities and transform and return to their true state of awareness, your true identity. We leave you now, my friend, in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one infinite Creator, Adonai.